5,000 Instagram followers, 90 days, one simple action plan. So we live in a world where there's loads of hacks, loads of people buying followers and all this crap. I want to give you an action plan for growing the right type of audience on Instagram in the next 90 days in a more organic way. Because when you grow an audience on Instagram or any social media platform actually, and you focus on growing the right types of people or attracting the right types of people instead of just focusing on the vanity metrics of how many followers you have, you'll find that you'll have much more enjoyment doing it. You'll go much further in your content creation and your business as well. So the problem with most how-to videos online, blog posts, tutorials, all that stuff, they literally focus on vanity metrics. So how many subscribers you have, how many followers you have. And although numbers can be important to an extent, I really feel it's more important to focus on growing and attracting the right types of people who are actually going to love what you're sharing, rather than just focusing on the actual number of followers and subscribers you have. It's way more important to have 5,000 real followers as against having 50,000 random people who follow you. So what is a real follower? A real follower is somebody who sees you as somebody they can learn from, somebody they can network with, somebody that they can share opportunities with, and they're also somebody who would potentially buy a product or service that you would like to offer them in the future. So let's take a look at how to grow your followers from 0 to 5,000 followers in the next 90 days. And the first day, we're going to look at optimizing your profile. Now, you've probably seen loads of videos on these in the past and how to make your profile stand out, but this is the first point of contact when somebody makes the decision to follow you or not. And we have to answer a couple of questions before a person decides to follow you and decides that you are the right person for them. First of all, the person's going to ask, is this person I want to follow legit? Like, are you legit? And they're going to look at maybe your follower count, which I know goes against what I've just said, but it does kind of come into some level of importance. Don't let vanity metrics rule growing the right types of people, if that makes sense. They're also going to look at your profile picture. Make sure your profile picture matches and tells us a bit of a story, if it can, of like who you are. I like to keep my headshots or profile pictures just nice and crisp and clean, of just like a shoulder up headshot, maybe something that shows like who you are. You can create one of these in like a free tool like canva.com and just make the pixels like 1000 by 1000 and upload it, and it'll look decent. Then you're gonna have to answer the question of like, why should this person follow you? I do this by telling people that I am a digital content creator. Not many people understand what a digital content creator is, so to be honest with you, that's not the most perfect bio. I might actually go in and update that, but you want to give people a clear reason why they should follow you. That's the next question you need to answer. And the third question you want to answer is, how can this person help me? In my bio here, I have an option for somebody to go and get a free download, which is an Instagram growth guide, which is ironic we're talking about growing Instagram following in this video. I'm trying to offer something of value straight away. So I'm hoping by having a decent bio and people being able to see like my top 3 posts in my feed, they kind of get a good idea of like what I'm about just within a few seconds of being on my profile, because people's attention spans nowadays are so short. You need to catch that attention as fast as possible to keep them on your page and then make them decide whether they want to follow you or not. If they don't want to follow you, that's fine, because we want to focus on building the right audience here. We don't want to just focus on vanity metrics, like I said. If they do decide to follow you, it will be the right decision because they've based it on whether or not you're legit, what kind of value that you are putting out there, and whether or not you can help them. Then on day 1 to day 30, we're going to focus on posting daily content, okay? There'll be different people out there sharing things on how many times a day you need to post. The reality is just stick to something consistently that you know you can do. So for me, I do post a handful of times per day. That's a mix of Instagram stories and some Instagram reels. For me, I've become obsessed with cameras, creating point of view videos on my mountain bike, and those are the things that I post on a daily basis. And you need to do the same thing. So find out what you're actually obsessed about, because I find that when you're obsessed about something, you have no problem coming up with ideas for things. That's the thing that we've talked about on this channel a bit, about how to overcome creative blocks by documenting rather than creating, because creation takes a lot of mental energy. But when we are literally obsessed about something, you're literally just documenting what you're doing or sharing things that you are actively researching and interested and curious about. That creative mental block and energy and headspace thing doesn't really exist. Coming up with content ideas and being able to post on a daily basis isn't a problem. So think about what you are obsessed with, what interests you, what are you curious about, and start posting content about that. And then from day 31 to day 60, I would focus on looking at doubling down on what's worked. So you should have by now 30 days worth of content. We can analyze this and look at what works and what didn't work so well. So was there certain trends? Was there certain types of content that performed better than others? Were there some bits of content that like literally were getting hundreds of thousands of views, whereas others were only getting a few hundred views? This is our chance to like look at what's worked and then look at doubling down and focus on creating more of that stuff. Like, there's no point in reinventing the wheel with this stuff. If you find a piece of content that works, start looking at why it worked. Like, was it the hook? Was it the actual type of content you were talking about or sharing? Was there something you said in the video that made it appealing to people? Try and figure out if there's like a common pattern between the different pieces of content you put out that produced really good results. If we're looking for audience growth, all we need to do at this point is figure out what's worked and just do more of it. And for me, like I said before, that was point of view videos. I'll put a screenshot on the screen now so you can see some of the videos that have performed best for me. And there is a correlation between these. They're all point of view videos of my mountain biking, so it makes sense to make more of those. But then I start asking the question like, okay, so was it a certain type of thumbnail on these point of view videos that was attractive? Like what is there a correlation between certain videos that seem to perform better than others? Because you can start to pick these apart and then start drilling down and making more content like that, and possibly even better content that will perform even better over the next 30 days. So if you've been posting for 60 days now, fist bump to you if you've been consistently posting for 60 days. Now what I like to do is focus on building an ecosystem or like a network. So look at a handful of topics that you are interested in posting about. Then go and find a couple of bigger accounts that post content with the stuff that you are interested in. What you're going to do now is you are going to follow them like a hawk, and you're also going to start engaging and commenting on the people's posts and comments that also like that same person. And this is how you build up an ecosystem or a network or a community of people. And that's how you attract even more people to your profile. This isn't a hack or like cheating, or it's not going to happen overnight either. That's something I should note down. Obviously this is a 90-day action plan, and it will only work if you show up consistently on a daily basis. So you have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, and you have to do the work. Focus on building the right audience slowly over time, and you'll be surprised at the compound effects of that. Like, things will start slow and then they'll start growing really, really fast. But you have to stick the course out. If you stop before that, you're going to miss out on the rewards later down the line. But the longer you can wait, the bigger the reward can be. That's kind of like how I like to think of this. And you want to engage with these people and start bringing them back organically to your profile. And that's one way to think about it. So a quick recap. First thing we need to do is optimize our profile. This is the first point of contact when somebody lands on your page. We want to grab our attention and give people a reason to follow us. First 30 days, we're going to focus on just posting daily content. Don't overthink this, just get posts every day so we can start figuring out what works. Day 30 to 60, then we're going to start doubling down on what's worked. We've got this big batch of content. Let's now look at why it works and replicate that for the future. Between day 60 and day 90, we want to start looking at building our ecosystem, reaching out to other bigger brands or bigger accounts, looking at the people who follow those people, and start to try and attract those people to your profile. So I hope this was useful. There will be a link in the description for some resources I've talked about in this video. As well, you can go and join my newsletter where I talk about growing an audience on different social media platforms, monetizing your passion with a simple online business. But I hope this was useful. Any questions, put them in the comments. See you in the next one.